All right, before we get started, I just want to show you a couple things inside my mini insert. Here's the album that I'm using. I've showed this to you before. It's a 6x8 Storyline Chapters album. And then inside I have 3 books currently. 2 of them are in process. So here's the first book that we're currently working on in this little CareFree wedding book series. I don't really have a name for it. And I just kind of like how so far I just have these little cute things kind of sticking out here on the edges. I'm a big fan of the sticking out parts. And if you have been following the series, you've seen these pages processed out. If not, I've got them linked below so you can watch at your leisure. Nothing needs to be seen prior to jump right in, so don't think that. But if you're interested, you can go back and watch. And this one here had a little journal pocket, which I'm going to kind of do again today, I've decided. So here's the page I'm going to work on. Before I get to that, I just want to show you something that I do so you know how the Storyline Chapters inserts work inside of the album, right? With the little wire that holds them in place. Well, I decided to do that with this it's about 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. It's a square storage envelope from scrapbook.com. And I decided to store the photos that I know I'm going to work on inside the inserts just right in here. And so I just took this little wire bar out, and before I close the envelope, pop that right inside of here, and then just closed up the envelope. And this is a great idea too if you have scrapbook kit on the go and you want to put some elements inside the album and just take it with you, then everything is nice and protected. Nothing's going to get bent. Just all kinds of ways you can make that work. But I wanted to share that with you. For today's pages, I'm going to try, I always say this, so that's why I have to super preface this by, I'm going to try and just use the project pad. Okay, as I say that, I've already lied to you, so sorry. I also am going to use this Heidi Swapp floral stamp. This is available at HeidiSwappShop.com. Link it below. Everything will be linked below. So hopefully I will remember everything that I've used in here. If not, just shoot me a question in the comments and I will read that and let you know where something is sourced. But I am going to use these in a page, and you're going to see how it's going to come together. It's in my head right now, so let's try and get it onto the paper. But inside this project pad, and all the project pads of the different collections include this, but it has what I think is a really pretty glitter page. It's going to probably not pick up too terribly well in the recording here. It's just really pretty. And, you know, what's the big deal about white glitter? I don't know. I don't think it's actually really a big deal, but I want to use it because wedding and glitter and white and sparkles and I don't know. So just to let you know where I'm going here on this first page. I'm going to cover this page with the glitter, then a journal card inside of the stickers caught my eye. The important, write it down. I'm going to make a pocket with this. So you're going to see how this comes together. I'll back this with cardstock so it's not sticky, and then attach it to, I think I have a double sticky tape that will attach to the glitter. We'll find that out. And then make a pocket, and then I want my journaling to be on the pocket. Okay, so let me just talk about that for half a second here. This is just a really pretty book to me. I'm just really trying to keep it as clean and elegant as possible. So I'm really not wanting to have any of my own handwriting on the surface. Does that make sense? I don't want to mess anything up. If anything, I will type out some journaling maybe on some other pages, type it out, then add it to the book. But I'm not going to handwrite where it can be seen. I'll hide it. So I hope that makes sense. All right, let's get this left page processed out. All right, so I've discovered that double sticky tape that I tried is not going to work. So I'm going to do 2 things. First, I'm going to make some gussets. Oh, tracks. guides. So many things we could call them. But what that means is I'm going to take and trim out some cardstock so that I can fold the strips of cardstock in half. You've seen me do this before if you follow this channel. And I'm just going to give myself a little bit more room in my pocket by doing this. Then I'm going to go back and add in with the red line tape. I found some red line tape. I'm going to have to source this for you. It can't be hard to find. I don't know where I found that one. I just happened to have it in my stash, and I'm glad I did because I think that'll work a lot better than a regular tacked double sticky tape. So we'll find out though, won't we? And notice too, as I sort of process through this page over here, that just have to be careful when you have something on the other side. And I was mindful of that as I was adding the glitter page and then making sure I had it adhered down well. I just didn't want to crank into it when I had other embellishments and items going on the other side. So that's just something to be mindful of. Okay, then let's have this. This side, yes, someone asked me about the wrinkles in the page. It sounds to me like the inserts have just come like that. I will tell you that as far as we can tell in this book, you're not seeing them, and you're not going to see it on this page either, even though I am going to knot back the page. I am, however, going to come in here with my ruler, and I'm going to want my photo to lend itself to something else on the other side, to kind of like a little foreshadowing to what's going to happen on the next page. I'm going to come in here about, I was going to do 1 inch, but I want my photo centered. And I want the photo to hang off the page a little bit. So now I'm looking at about 1.5 inches that I am going to tear this at. Once, and I like the torn page edge, that's a personal preference. If this is something you're doing it yourself, if you want to cut it, then just take a cutting mat and tuck it here underneath and cut with a knife. Otherwise, I'm just going to line this up as best I can. And then what I want to do on the page behind it is bring in these stamps. And so I showed you before when we started these floral stamps by Heidi Swapp. And I'm going to use the big flower and just have a little bit of stamping fun here. I'm going to be using Victorian Velvet because I've decided Victorian Velvet is like the signature color for all things Carefree. And then I went a little softer with the leaf. I'm going to use Bundled Sage. I think that's a really pretty color. So I'm going to do that next. Something I really love about these floral stamps is just there's these, obviously a flower is imperfect and it has different uneven edges, and it's just kind of fun fitting another stamp kind of into a space. So just enjoy the process. And obviously this is a lot easier to do when nothing is on the other side. And I think I'm really loving how that's peeking through, just the perfect colors to complement with the other side. And then all that we're going to do, I believe with this, is just add in the photo. I'm kind of loving it. I'm kind of loving it. Okay, I just want to make a little mark here so I know where my adhesive should go. And honestly, I don't know that I'm going to do too much more embellishing on this. Let's get this in place. Oh yeah, got plenty of room here for that. And what will happen here on this other side will be when I get to this part, you're going to see the photo that I'm going to put right here. That's going to be kind of fun. So this turned out really nice.